After yesterday's lesson, we left off with a City in Progress Day 2. And today what we did, we started off by saving a wallpaper sample and by saving a wood floor. Once we save those from the internet, close that out and we can open an image from computer. I am going to go into my art folder, Pixlr City, and open up City in Progress Day 2 PXD. You must have Pixlr open and then choose the file. You cannot just choose the file, it won't open. You have to have the correct program open. So I open there. This is where we left off last. And then now I'm going to unlock the back layer, close out the promotion, bring the history down, bring the layers down, go up to the top, and I want to add. So I go Layer, Open Images Layer, and I go and I get the wallpaper that I saved from the internet, and there it is. I'm going to move it over to this side, and I may even turn it so that I have it where it's dark green on the bottom and lighter on the top. And yes, I want to apply those changes. I'm going to zoom in and then bring it over my navigator, and now I can do my free distort tool. I'm going to use this so that the bottom goes over here. I do not want the light color on the bottom, but I do want it on the top. So that corner to this corner, and then I have to line it up with the wall so that it appears to go back to the vanishing point. There's my free distort. Click off of the image, say yes, and now I can erase. I'm going to rename this layer 3 as wallpaper. I want to change the opacity of it so that I can see through it and know where to erase. And I'm going to go right up along there, grab a bigger eraser now, and there we have it. I can change my opacity back, and now I have wallpaper on that wall. I do want that wallpaper to be a little bit lighter, so I am going to leave the opacity as is there. Now what I want to do is change. I want to sample the color, so I get my color picker and I'm going to choose this light green. That's a gray. Let me grab this one right there. There's my light green tone. Grab my paint bucket and I go back to the city background. Select the color again, that's what's selected, and I fill in this part of the wall with that green that matches. The last thing I want to do in this room is to open another image as a layer, and I am going to go grab some flooring. I saved some flooring. Let's zoom in, and that's a nice wood flooring right there. I can take my marquee tool, cut this out of here, and do Edit, Cut, Edit, Paste. So now I have just the wood part of the flooring, and that's layer 5, so I'm going to double click and rename it Floor. And click off of it. I no longer need layer 4, which is that one, so I can right click, delete that layer, and I keep my floor up on the top, go back, move the flooring down, zoom back in so I can see where I'm working, and I want to free transform this. So Edit, Free Transform. I'm actually going to turn it so that the wood grain is actually going in the direction of the lines of perspective. And that's how it should appear right there. And I'm going to make it as large as possible to cover the floor. Say yes. Go back, change my opacity so that I can actually erase the areas where there is no floor. Before I do that though, I do want to free transform this, free distort this, so Edit, Free Distort, and I'm going to make it even more so look as though those lines of the floor are going towards my vanishing point, and that way the floor looks as though it's flat on the ground. And there it is. So I click yes there, change the opacity again, and that's how I change the opacity to make it kind of ghost-like, and I can see where I'm going to erase. I can take my eraser tool, I like a bigger brush for cleaner edges, and erase right along there, erase along the wall and the back wall. Of course, with more time in class or at home, we'll be able to make those eraser lines a lot neater along the line. And once this is cleaned up, I may then change my opacity back to full on, and there's my wood floor. The one last thing that I want to do in order to move on, all of my layers are named, excuse me, and so what I do now is I go and I grab my last layer, open images layer, and I went and I got a painting to hang on the wall. So I'm going to open this painting. It's a Ross Bleckner. He's one of my favorites. I'm going to rename this layer, and I'm going to name it Painting. Click off of it to save the layer. And now I go in and I make the painting. Right now the painting is a perfect square, but we know in order to make it look like it's on the wall, we need to distort it. So first I go to Edit, Free Transform, and make it a little smaller so that it actually fits on the wall. Bring it up. Click off of it, select yes that I want to apply the changes, Edit, Free Distort again, and bring it back so that the lines match up. They're vertical on the edges because it is on the wall. Yes, apply the changes. And do they line up with these that go back? See, here's the top of the building. Does this line up with that horizon line and the lines of perspective going back? This one I would say needs to come up a little bit more in the back. Whoops. I grabbed it and I moved it. So I edit, free transform again. Bring it in. That's changing the size for free transform. Apply the changes, and then edit, free distort is what I wanted to bring this corner up just a smidge, as well as that one. I am going to bring it back a little bit, and now it looks like it is a picture. Yes, apply the changes, and now it is photo painting hanging on the wall. As we do every other day, we're going to save our image, file, save. But quick review, we added wallpaper, we sampled the color from the wallpaper to paint this wall over here on our city background layer, and we added in some type of flooring, either hardwood floor or carpeting. And a piece of artwork on the wall, it does not matter what kind of wallpaper, what color this wall is. I would keep it somewhat subdued though, not totally crazy with patterns or bright colors. So we're gonna file, save as, and it was City in Progress Day 2, so I'm going to change it to City in Progress Day 3 as soon as all of these layers are done being saved. I say OK. Once I change it, so there's my City in Progress Day 3. It is a PXD, which is the layered image. Say OK, and I'm going to go put it in my art folder that I made for myself into my Pixlr City. And there we are. We are done with our third day of examples.